Women absolutely know what men want. There's a rebellious spirit, there's a defiance, there's a can't nobody tell me what to do.
When women get up there in age, they realize the truth. A lot of that delusion starts to fade away. Describe, let's talk about it.
Humbly, I want to offer a small correction, Mr. Jeff, on what you said. You said that it's taking women too long to know what men want. I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's taking them too long to accept what men want. They know. Women absolutely know what men want. There's a rebellious spirit. There's a defiance. There's a can't nobody tell me what to do. And the reason why I say that is because when they get to the big age, and I'm speaking as an older woman, I'm 50. When they get to this big age, usually there's the, okay, I'll submit. Okay, I'll listen. Okay, I won't have the last word. Okay, I'll be responsible with money. Okay, I'll put some clothes on. They knew that all along.
I think that's, to be fair, I think that's absolutely true. I think we have to give women credit for the things they're able to accomplish in life. The amazing accomplishments, the job, the career, right? The feats, the financial accomplishments. I know you're capable of higher level reasoning. You're human. You can do it. I have all the faith in that. That's why when it seems to some things become particularly obtuse about, I've got to think and say, this is purposeful, right? This is mindful. You want to pretend as if you don't get what men are saying because you just don't want to comply. And sometimes it just comes down to you want to be rebellious. I talked about on the live stream we did yesterday. Well, not this yesterday, but of a woman saying she was going on a date and kayaking with a man and she knows she got sun poisoning very easily. So he said, hey, don't forget to take your sunscreen. And she was so adamant, I'm not going to listen to a man. She didn't take it. And then what happens? She gets sick. She gets sunburned. She gets sun poisoning. You don't want to listen. You don't want to hear because you've kind of been taught that this is what you're supposed to do. A lot of this feminist talking points or talking thinking set us up to be against one another. That way you can kind of self-propagate the message. A man is bad, therefore you should not be listening to whatever he has to say. Yet, you still want him to do for you. Forget about the reasoning, forget about the propaganda, forget about any type of agenda. If you want to be with a man, despite how much you denigrate, downgrade, and essentially diss him, how are you supposed to achieve that when you don't want to listen to what he has to say at all? Listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still going strong, still trying to do 2 a day, still trying to show that discipline, still trying to protect the brand. So hype the video, share the video. We got some merch in the store. Now, we see this play out right across social media. When women are young and they feel like they have all the time in the world, then you see them at the most disrespectful. Right? I don't care what a man has to say. He's got to do this. He's got to get on my program. But over time, Father Time kind of reveals all. He chips away at a lot of that attitude. Your real world results will chip away at that attitude. Like we said, like a big thing on the channel, life is the greatest algorithm. It's going to show you that when you keep talking about what you deserve because of the way you look, because you're feminine, because you were born like this, life says, yeah, cool. This is the real deal. This is what actually ends up happening. All the ideals you had, all the ideals you held firmly to turn out to be falsehoods, turn out to be pipe dreams, pie in the skies. You end up with a different type of life. Nothing like you thought. All the men that was supposed to be readily available, all that attention that was always, splashed upon you is gone. It dried up quickly. Something that, right, and this is for the men to help us understand, help the other men understand. There's the male attention was constant. One woman was talking about on another thing I saw. In a month's time, 30 to 31 days, she had over 1,000 likes and messages on a dating app. 1,000. How long would it take a man to do that? Realistically, a man of moderate attraction, how long would it take him to get 1,000? Decades. Easily decades. But you go from that, over the years, this thing being a constant, to suddenly drying up. Now it seems more important than what these men were saying. At the time, you had to ignore it. You got to ignore it. You felt like, yeah, I hear that, but none of that really applies to my life. A man is the easiest thing to get until you're talking about a husband. Until you're talking about someone that's supposed to take you and elevate you from the situationship, to the girlfriend, to all these statuses, to finally saying, this is someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with. The truth is that's not happening, especially in the Black community. It's happening at a far, far less rate than it is for other races. It's then at that later age that the light bulb finally goes off, or at the very least, finally you can acknowledge that, hey, what these guys were saying is kind of true. There's a woman making her rounds on social media, or at least trying to, was saying, hey, I'm the woman that was on Kevin Samuels' show. And she likes to talk as if she's confused. Well, how come I'm 50 something and look like this and this? Yeah, you had your time to shine when you were on the show. He explained everything to you. What men end up saying now, it's the same thing he was saying then. You didn't like the way he packaged it. You didn't like the way he said it. Didn't make it any less true. The men that you're looking for, they're not checking for you, especially in your older age. This is now when you want to seem soft. This is now when you say, I want someone to lead me. But you won't acknowledge the other part of it, that those options, or the time when you have your chance to get the best man possible, has long since passed. We cannot play this game inevitably. Even men at some point in time have to look up to the rafters and look at their jersey and say, yeah, I got out the game at the appropriate time. Sure, we have a lot longer to play it. We have more time on the back end because in the beginning, we were just lucky to draw someone's attention. We were lucky if someone saw our potential, said, I'm going to hitch my wagon to this ride and we're going to do something together. For the most part, a lot of us realize our golden years are the times that we're going to shine. For men, in reality, delayed gratification is our strongest tool in this game. You get better with time. You get more options with time if you do the work. So when you see women now, the same age, and anyone can take a look at this, you'll know what I'm talking about is true. You'll see a lot of conversations now of we're trying to shame older men into dating men their age or women their age. You shouldn't want to date a woman. What do you have in common with a woman in her 20s? What do you have in common with a woman my age? With the way we're diametrically opposed on so many different topics, including politics, policy, dating, relationships, religion. It seems like we can't agree on anything at this moment in time. So what do I have in common with you more so than someone, their 20-year-old version of you? Realistically, the best approach to this is to come to one of grace. It's to come to one of understanding, saying, yeah, I kind of made some mistakes, right? And I'm trying to learn from those mistakes. And I'll give you a simple example before we end this one. I've said it before on this channel, that the best weapon an older woman has is her experience with men. You know how they are. You know what turns a man on. You know what turns a man off. You know how to speak to a man. You should know these things. Your experience with men should have taught you this is what's important to them. This is how you inspire him. This is what the younger version of you just cannot compete with. They don't have the experience. And even if they've been with different men, they're with those men for different reasons, simply because they're beautiful, simply because maybe they're more effervescent, simply because they may feel like spring, but they don't have the experience of how do you motivate that man when he's low. That's your key. That's your charm. That's your best bet, because you cannot compete with them physically. You cannot compete with their spirit. You have to move on to a more matured game. But just saying, hey, now I realize you were right. What men say matter now. You're going to get a lot of men that say it's way too late, right? It's way too late. The amount of effort they would have put into chasing you back then, they're not going to put into now. So if you get that's why it seems sort of weird when you have older women talking about, yo, he's got to court me. He's got to do all this. They're looking like, yo, no. Then on the other hand, you have older women, cougars, saying, yo, you got to date down. And as men, we know the deal. Now it's okay, right? Now it's okay. Now age gap dating is fine when this is one of your only options left. But if you think I'm wrong and I've been wrong before, let me know down in the comment section. If you see other videos you want to screen check those out, let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to Sound My Voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. Just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.